We started off with 10 teams, now we are down to 4. The final 4, the first semi-final, featuring a red-hot Indian team that has been on a steamroll, that has beaten every other team that has come on their way. They will be up against their nemesis, a team which has in the past troubled them in the ICC tournaments. They've qualified for the semi-final at the last moment. They had to win a last game versus Sri Lanka to qualify. But now that they've made it, they are very dangerous. Let's not forget, it is India versus New Zealand. It is two-time winners India versus New Zealand that's yet to win a World Cup title. But let's not forget that this New Zealand team made it to the last final. They'll also be looking for a hat-trick of making it to the finals. It's the cool, calm Kiwi teams versus, as I mentioned at the start, the red-hot Indian team in the semi-final. One sleep away from that game. I'm Nikhil Naz. Joining me for the next 1 hour is going to be a world champion in Suresh Raina. The last time Indian team won, he was part of that squad. We will also be joined by another team member of his who was also a World Cup winner in Harbhajan Singh in a short while from now. We'll take a look at all the stats that are coming out of Wankhede, and they make for an interesting reading, as well as the ground report. We'll be joined by our correspondent Rahul live from the ground, telling us the kind of pitch that is going to be available for this semi-final. But before we get into the details, Suresh, this is the moment that we were all waiting for. My heart is pumping. You want to say all is well? All is well?
All is well, but we can't write off New Zealand. They played the final in 2015. They played in 2019. And they have some team unity. Whenever they play, they get loved by each and everyone. And they have a quality team. They have already beaten India in 2019. They already beaten us in WTC. So I think India looked very, very strong. But I would say this game will be 65 India, 35% New Zealand, because semi-final games, especially when you know you're not playing the quarterfinal, one mistake can cause you 4 years. But India looking very, very strong. I think if you see Indian batting, bowling, fielding, you don't have error anywhere.
Because you said 65-35 India, but like myself, all the other fans that would be watching, they would also be very, very nervous. You want to tell them something? Ghabrana nahi hai, something like that? Huh?
Just enjoy the game, because you might see a lot of runs in Wankhede, and it's a Rohit Sharma home ground. It's a Virat Kohli home ground. It's a whole India's waiting for the semi-final. But Kane Williamson is back as a captain, and he's playing the semi-final. He's always had some sort of astute leadership like Rohit Sharma, and he just bring the A game from New Zealand whenever they play the quarter-final or semi-final in ICC trophies. So I would say this is going to be an exciting game, but toss will be very, very vital.
Toss is going to be important. We're going to discuss in detail why is it that we're saying toss is very important. We'll bring you all the stats as well. But before that, you spoke about Williamson, we know. But there's that one other batter, man in India, played for Chennai Super Kings, Conway. You would know him rather well. What is it about Conway that in big games, you need to be wary of a batter?
He is a big player, big match winner player. We have seen that in IPL, but we have seen the first game when he scored 100 against England. He looked solid. He plays all over the place. He plays spin really well. He read the situation really well, and he hasn't been on the scoring board. So especially when the big game comes, he is a kind of a big player who can always done well on the big day. So we might have to see Conway. Then you have to have the Daryl Mitchell. He looked very strong because he plays a lot of shots in V. And then they have Rachin Ravindra. He's been local boy from Bangalore, but he's been hitting us like someone like Rohit Sharma. He's been changing the course of the game, but he's looking very good. But with Bolt, Saudi, Ferguson, Santner, then they only have one weak point. They don't have a fast bowler now, Matt Henry, because he has done well against us in England, but we have a upper hand now.
Okay, as Suresh points out, India, of course, have the upper hand. That's because, unlike New Zealand, that did stutter during the course of this World Cup, India haven't stuttered. They've not lost a single game. They've been on a roll. Overall, Suresh, when you take a look at the record overall in Wankhede, chasing has not been that tough. But if you take a look at this particular World Cup, chasing has become much more difficult. They're saying that's because the first 10, 12 overs are tough. Why is it very difficult in this World Cup, and why was that not the case, let's say, in an IPL match where people chase big totals?
Because it's starting 2 o'clock, and if you see the second team is batting 5:45, depends on when they finish on first half. But that's why breeze coming a lot of from the Marine Drive, whenever they have a lot of swing, and especially when Shami comes, Siraj, Bumrah, they are bowling with the pace, they are bowling with the seam. At the same time, Wankhede have been always batting wickets. But now we are having the best bowling unit. We can always change the course of the game because two new ball, as you said, it's not going to be easy for any batting unit. We have seen that South Africa, they scored 380, 400. But Wankhede always bring a lot of quality batting versus bowling because always swing with the new ball as well as spin with the old ball. And we have Jadeja, Kuldeep, but they have a quality batting lineup, New Zealand. If you say they are technically look very sound, they play a lot of shot into the V's and they use the pace really well. But with Bumrah experience in Wankhede, Rohit knows this condition. He was playing since he's born. I mean, he played a lot of matches, won almost 5 IPL trophies. So he played almost decades in that ground. So he has a lot of experience. But as you mentioned, batting first, whoever in the big game, captain in the toss, put runs on the board. When you have Shami, Siraj, Bumrah and Jadeja and Kuldeep, you can put 300, 350, that kind of bowling, you can easily defend.
Okay, so you're saying that 2 o'clock start is the one that has made the difference.
Absolutely.
So the difference is, just for our viewers who are watching, why is it that teams in the IPL can chase it down? Because when you're batting second, you've gone past that twilight. You're batting much later in the day, in the second innings. Even batting first starts post 8 o'clock. So
exactly.
What Suresh is pointing out, it's that period between 5:30 to 6:30, the twilight area when the sun is going down. That 1 hour is very tough, and usually the team that's batting second, that's why facing that one tough hour.
Absolutely, because the dew comes 7:30, you have to finish 20 overs with the new ball. And from one end, the new ball is there, and you have Shami, Siraj, Bumrah, and Rohit is using them really, really well. He's not putting any fielder here and there. He's giving them an aggressive fielding. So Rohit must have had planned with them, we need a wicket. So that's why Rohit and bowling chemistry looks so lethal because he's giving them a slip, he's giving them a short mid-wicket area, and bowler using good short balls. Bumrah, Siraj, Shami. That's why Indian bowling looked the best in the World Cup.
Okay, that is the difference actually. If you take a look at the Indian team and the rest of the team, you talk about India's batting. Yes, they've been getting a lot of runs, but so are the other teams. Australia is getting a lot of runs. New Zealand is getting a lot of runs. South Africa is getting a lot of runs. But the difference is, these teams that I just mentioned does not have that potency in their bowling like we're seeing with the Indian team, and that's been the differentiator between India and the rest of the team. That was 4 months ago, India versus New Zealand in the semi-final of the World Cup, and now we're back at that same stage against the same opposition, opposition that has proved to be the banana peel for the Indian team, especially in ICC tournaments. Suresh, what do you remember of that game? I still remember that debate still goes on social media, that had MS Dhoni not been run out, we would have won. What did you make of that?
Same, actually, same. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, 3 wickets, crucial. And they defending the very less total. But I think Jadeja looked very, very good. I saw today only the game. Jadeja hit those centener, 2 sixes. Then he hit 1 to mid-off to Ferguson. And Dhoni played really, really well. As you said, run out cost us the World Cup. But after that, I think he retired also from the cricket. I think the run out really made us all sad, but I think this year we don't want anyone to get run out. We want the cup, so hopefully we'll get it.
If we look at that particular game also, India went in as the favourites. New Zealand were the underdog. Same thing here. You mentioned at the start, 65-35 in favour of the Indian team. But what is it about the New Zealand team that even though they are always under the radar, they yet perform so good in ICC tournaments?
Fielding unit, their captaincy. Whenever they play like a team. Trent Bolt, he's been very, very dangerous with the new ball. Matt Henry was playing that game, and now they have Saudi, Ferguson. But they look like a unit. They know how to play in ICC trophy. We have seen that in 2015 World Cup when they played against Australia in Melbourne. Then we have seen that in Lords when they played against England. I think they have a unity. They have a self-belief. They play very, very fearless cricket, and everyone looked very calm. When you're calm under pressure, result always favours the brave. I think that's what we have seen when we played in 2011 World Cup. But that's what New Zealand team is all about. We have seen that Fleming was our coach in CSK. We have seen that calmness. Williamson looked so solid. He waited and waited. The moment he played, he scored a brilliant 85, 94 something in Bangalore against Pakistan.
Yeah.
But their team always offers something on the table. That's why they looked very dangerous. Whenever you calm, I think you always delay that dilemma 2 seconds late. So you always have that extra mind to judge the condition well. That's what New Zealand always does well in ICC trophy.
Okay, let's take you live now to Mumbai, right outside the Wankhede Stadium. Our correspondent Rahul Rawat joins us live from there. The Indian team is hard at practice. The Indian captain in Rohit Sharma addressed the press conference as well a short while ago. What's it looking like, Rahul, there? The Indian team, the Indian captain, all confident ahead of this big clash?
Well, he looked pretty relaxed, and in fact, right now where I am standing, just on my right, the Indian team is practicing, and it's a dangerous spot to be. Right now, Virat Kohli, Ishan Kishan, and Shardul Thakur actually are batting, and they've tonged a few balls right next to me. In fact, a couple of balls have landed here. But as far as Rohit Sharma was concerned, in fact, he had a very lengthy press conference, answered a lot many questions about the perspective. And he mentioned about these boys who most, of course, were not even born when India won their first World Cup in '83. Thereafter, in 2011, half of the team, according to Rohit Sharma, half of these players had not even started playing cricket. They didn't even know whether they would have or they would play cricket for India. So what they are focused primarily is the game tomorrow and the game after that. Firstly, of course, they have to cross this hurdle, and New Zealand, of course, they have troubled India in the past, especially in the knockout games. But I think Rohit, this Indian team looks balanced, and they know what they have to do. You know, there was a worry when Hardik Pandya was ruled out after that injury, but the way these bowlers have responded, they have reduced quite a few headaches for the Indian think tank, for Rohit Sharma and for Rahul Dravid. In fact, Rohit Sharma appreciated how Rahul Dravid has handled this team despite a few failures. He never asked any player to stand down or replaced him, and that is what Rohit thinks, the consistency with in the team that has allowed them to do so well in this tournament so far, Nikhil.
Okay, Rahul, stay on with us. We'll get back to Rahul, probably get some details about the weather there, the pitch there. But as we promised earlier, we're going to be joined by another world champion in Harbhajan Singh. We already had Suresh Raina, and now Harbhajan joins us. Harbhajan, you missed the start of our discussion. And I told Suresh that, you know, this is that moment, 4 years I waited, so my heart is beating a little faster. But he told me, all is well, just relax. Are you feeling like that?
Yeah, all is well, apart from my suit. My dress code is not right, but otherwise all is well. I think Team India is ready for this. You know, it's been a long journey. They have played they have played great sort of cricket, you know, to reach to the semis, but not to be worried. You know, this is going to be a great game of cricket, and India is a superior team in this semi-final. I believe New Zealand, you know, they were probably better team when they were playing in 2019, but it's not the case this time. I think Indian team will be rolling over them.
Okay, the T-shirt of Harbhajan reminds me, you know, it's my favorite cartoon character. And the Indian team right now seems to be playing Mickey Mouse cricket. When I say Mickey Mouse cricket, as in they're making it look so easy when they're beating the remaining team, that it looks like a one-sided contest. But one question that I want to ask you both. Let's say hypothetically, you have the option of choosing a semi-finalist in the 4 that you've got. Which would be the toughest semi-final if India were to face? Would it be New Zealand? Would it be in Australia? Would Indian team be happy that they're drawn New Zealand, or they would have been happier had they got South Africa or Australia? Let's start.
I think they are happy with the New Zealand.
Okay.
And because non-stop, as Bajuba said, Indian team looked very, very superior. They're ticking all the boxes, batting, bowling, fielding. But the most important thing, Rohit Sharma captaincy. He changed the difference. Now he's playing in the home ground. Whichever team comes, you know, one team has to win. It has to be India, because the way they're scoring runs, he's been starting with great strike rate. KL Rahul in form, Virat Kohli in form, Suresh also got 100. We don't have anything error right now, because you just need to go out there, play good 100 overs, then you're going to play the final.
Why I asked which would be that opponent that India would like?
I think it doesn't matter when you play the quality of cricket Team India have played. They would not mind anyone coming into the semis. They have beaten Australia, they have beaten South Africa, and then they have beaten this New Zealand team as well. So they don't mind actually playing anyone. But you know, when you have to win the final, or you want to win the final, you kind of have to beat anyone who comes your ways. So it doesn't matter. So New Zealand is there. So whether we liked it or they don't like it or whatsoever, we still have to play this game and win this game convincingly going forward, which I believe they will do so.
And Bajupay, do you feel like now we are not playing the quarter-final? Straight away we're playing the semi-final. Earlier when we used to play, you played a lot of World Cups. Straight to the semis, one mistake can be...
Yeah. I mean...
You guys played against Australia in 2011 quarter-final.
Yeah, we played that quarter-final. That was actually kind of a semi-final for us. And then we played the final against Pakistan, which was a semi-final. No, but that final against Sri Lanka wasn't that difficult a task, what we faced two oppositions earlier. So I believe semi-final, as he's saying, that one mistake, anybody can make the error. But I do believe that this team will not make that sort of mistake. They have learned from 2019 and have reached to this level. They would want to go out there and give their best shot. And whatever happens, they'll still remain the champions. Doesn't matter, one game, it doesn't make them a loser or whatsoever. Whatever happens tomorrow, whether India go on to win or they go on in the final or they lose tomorrow. For us, they'll remain the champions.
The reason I asked, which would be that one opposition they wouldn't want? Because
Australia, probably.
Australia
is one of those strong teams. They have won the World Cups. They know how these big games are played. They have the experience. So, India would not want Australia to be in the final or, they want... Yeah, no. Even in the final, when India gets to the final, they want South Africa to be there because beating South Africa will be easier than beating Australia. But at the moment, yes, New Zealand is there. They will fight. They'll not just bundle like the other teams, and this ground will probably suit them. So it'll be a great game. But yes, I'm hoping that India will come on top.
The reason I asked that question is because if you look at South Africa, you look at Australia and New Zealand, India has beaten all of them this World Cup. But the only team that gave India a fight, and India won just by 4 wickets, you went down to even Shami had to come out and bat. That's not happened with India in any other team, in any other game this tournament. And that was a New Zealand team without a Kane Williamson. Now he comes back into the team. So does that then present them the toughest challenge of this World Cup facing this New Zealand team?
I think he's played a lot of final, as I said earlier. They played 2015 final, 2019. They've beaten us in WTC final also. But I think Wankhede wicket is very, very, batting wicket. As Bajupay said, they just need to play 100 overs good cricket because we don't have anything error right now in our team. Everyone is prime form. They know they're now playing the semi-final game. So they need to play the A game. They're not playing the opposition. They are playing the semi-final among each other because Rohit is in very, very good form. Then if we score 260, imagine. We have a kind of bowling lineup, we can easily defend the target. So they are not thinking. That's why they are playing so aggressive. Shubman Gill, then Rohit Sharma, 12 overs, 90, 100. It's going to happen because if Rohit win the toss, definitely he put score on the board. He will say, I'm going to bat first. Because 360, 350 will be very, very good total in Wankhede.
But I believe that if Rohit win the toss tomorrow at Wankhede, since I played a lot of cricket there, I believe they're going to chase. Because that's probably the only ground where India would look to chase rather than defend. They don't mind defending the kind of bowling lineup we have, but this ground is a chasing ground.
Can I tell you a stat? Because we played it.
Don't worry about these just World Cup
Don't look at these games.
These few games, of course, have gone a different way altogether. But if you take 10 years history of IPL, of a lot of cricket being played in this kind of condition where the dew comes into play. So I think this is a chasing ground. Yes, it's a big game. You want to have runs on the board, but that method is a old method. I think chasing can be a good option. You see other day what Maxwell did. It was a game to watch, game to remember, but one man you need to stand there, and one man can make a difference when it comes to batting. This is purely a batting paradise wicket. So, if at all, New Zealand batting second, they would fancy their chances. Chasing 300, I can tell you, because they might not be able to against this bowling lineup, but they would give themselves a better chance by chasing, not putting runs on the board.
Just one sleep away from that big semi-final, India versus New Zealand. It's a repeat of the last edition of the World Cup. So exactly after 4 years, 4 months, we have the exact two teams playing in the semi-final of a 50-over World Cup. Suresh Raina, Harbhajan Singh with us, and we'll continue our discussion about what should a team do if they win the toss. Should they bat first? Should they be chasing? But before that, let me take you live to the Wankhede Stadium. The Indian team had a press conference a short while ago. They are practicing as we speak. Rahul Rawat joins us live from there. Rahul, tell us about the pitch. I believe you've had a sneak peek. Is it the same pitch that we're hearing that was used in that Afghanistan-Australia game where Maxwell got that 200, or is it a different strip? And if it is, what's the report like? Is it going to be a batting paradise that we always see at the Wankhede?
Nikhil, what I have seen, in fact, yesterday also I saw that wicket. It looks a little bit dry, to be very honest. And no, it's not that wicket on which Maxwell got that double 100. In fact, this is the wicket on which India and, in fact, South Africa and Bangladesh played. South Africa in that game won the toss, elected to bat first, got 382, in which Quinton de Kock got that 175, and Bangladesh, they folded up for I believe 230 odd runs. So this is the same wicket. And a little while back, in fact at around 5 p.m, the pitch was being rolled. A light roller was being used at that time. And here, you know, if you go by the convention, I agree. In fact, I was listening to your conversation before the break where Harbhajan Singh, he said that, you know, going by the convention, because he's played quite a lot of cricket here at Wankhede, it is always advisable that you bat second. But what has happened in this World Cup, I think it will definitely play into the minds of the Indian team, especially with the ball. You know, forget about how well they have batted in the first innings. Also with the ball, under lights, how the ball has done. It moves a bit here. In fact, it moves more than any other ground, and it moves for a longer duration also, the ball. So I think that will be playing on their mind, and New Zealand definitely would not want to face the Indian fast bowlers under lights on this ground. So if New Zealand if they have any chance, I think it would be if they win the toss and elect to bat first. I think that will be their best chance to win this game, because it will be a packed house tomorrow, and David Beckham will also be in attendance for this game. He's being brought here as the ambassador for UNICEF. I believe Harbhajan Singh will also get an opportunity to meet the football legend.
Okay, so I'm going to give him a jersey.
No, I'll
get it signed from David Beckham.
Sure, I'll do that. But good kind of piece we heard from him.
Okay.
You know, saying it that this is not the same wicket where Maxwell got those runs. Sorry, I'm taking your chance.
No,
because,
please.
You know, this wicket plays a very, very important role in Wankhede. If you leave it bit dry, and it just tend to slow down, you know, from the first inning to the second inning, it just becomes a totally different wicket altogether. So, Rahul, thank you for that information. In that scenario, you know, batting first would be the best option. Of course, if the wicket will get bit slower, and then the ball will, you know, not come to the bat, and spinners will play a big role. And of course, not to forget, India playing New Zealand in home conditions, there will be some assistance for the spinners. So there might be a chance we see 3 spinner playing. You know, if the wicket starts spinning, you know, if the wicket is bit drier, so we might not see another seamer. So
but how do you fit an Ashwin in? Who goes out? That's going to be a big.
Yeah, that is something I need.
You need time to think about.
Yeah, I need to because what information he gave me, it's a dry wicket where it'll ball will spin. If the ball will spin, you rather play 3 spinner than 3 seamer. You know, although your seamers are in great shape, looking good, they have taken wickets. You play Shami and Bumrah, and then you attack with Ashwin, Jadeja, and Kuldeep
Virat
Yadav.
Kohli also, he took a wicket last game. Rohit Sharma also
That's
took a wicket.
very interesting. Also because New Zealand have so many left-handers, and we've not had an off-spinner, you know, in that squad. Last time you played them, you had Ravindra Jadeja. In fact, interestingly, that was a game where Jadeja did not pick up a wicket. There are too many left-handers in there.
No, Bajuka has a valid point. That's why he said, that's what, if Ashwin comes, but it's going to be tricky as...
Who do you drop? If you
because Shami looks good, Bumrah also look good, but if the wicket is like what Rahul said, You never know. We might see Ashwin in the semi-final also. That's what happened in 2011 also.
2011 also.
Ashwin played in quarter-final, but Ashish never played in the semi-final because he knew because Pakistan plays spin really well. Bhajupa, Yupa bowled really well against Pakistan. You never know if the wicket is turning. We saw Rahul and Vikram Paji was there. They saw the wicket when they landed in Mumbai. Might be
actually. That's exactly what happened. Rahul Dravid and Paras Mambre and Vikram Rathore went straight to the ground as soon as they landed from Bangalore, went and saw the pitch. In fact, I've seen the pictures of it. It looks brown, a little more brown than the usual Wankhede pitch that we've seen so far. The one thing, before we listen to the two captains as well, the one thing I wanted to find out, because you said you should chase, one thing that we've noticed in this World Cup...
I said chase
earlier.
Because if the wicket is good,
is like that.
If it having bit of grass on it, it will hold nicely and then you can chase down. But what Rahul just mentioned, it's a bit more drier, it's more browner, then of course you don't want to chase, you want to rather put runs on the board and look to defend.
The one thing that I really wanted to check from the two of you is that one thing that we have seen in this and why teams are reluctant to chase here is that first 1 hour when you come out to chase, it's been very tough. I was seeing 4 wickets falling in the power play and an average score of 40. Compare it to the first inning, just 1 wicket falling and the power play score is much higher. So there's a big difference. Average first inning score here, 350. Average second inning score, 188. There's a big difference. Why is it that first 1 hour very tough, whereas in the IPL you have teams that can chase?
I would say the weather, because we are playing in November. When Mumbai also, Maharashtra also gets a bit windy, gets very chilly, because we are playing the World Cup in November. We play the IPL in May, June.
Okay.
That's also the difference. The match also starting 2 o'clock. Then we have a 1 hour to swing the ball and seam also. That's what no team is chasing well. We have seen South Africa. They scored a lot of runs first inning. When they chase, they always look bit confused how to chase the target. But India looked very solid. Whenever they're batting, they always scored 380, 390. Whenever they have chased, they chase really well.
Okay.
But I think Rohit will bat first, because that's what a team, the bowling unit he has, because the Bhajupa said Wankhede brings a lot of swing, seam, the wicket is turning. We have Jadeja, Kuldeep and Rohit Sharma also bowling. 1-2 over from Virat, 1-2 over from Rohit Sharma. Doesn't make a difference to Indian bowling lineup.
The one thing that we've seen here, and many people believe that because it's an early start, so at that twilight, when the sun is going, that 1 hour becomes tough and the ball swings and seems a bit more compared to other time. Is that the reason that 1 hour is important? And if it is, if India is chasing, can Rohit change his natural approach where he's been attacking throughout this World Cup, change that to become a little bit more careful, finish that 10-over spell, then attack?
Depends, if it does the same tomorrow. If it doesn't, then he just continue to bat the way he batted throughout the World Cup. You have to see the condition. That 1 hour twilight, what you're talking about, is a difficult period. Suddenly the light comes and, as he mentioned, that conditions get a bit cooler, and because of the sea breeze, you'll always see new ball doing a bit in Mumbai. That 1 hour is tough period. But in that period, if the ball is not swinging, not particularly every day the ball will swing. That depends, how much pressure you will put. Sometimes putting pressure on the bowler will take away everything from that bowler. So I think if the ball is swinging, you have to kind of respect the conditions and play according to the conditions, which Rohit and other batters will do that. But if the conditions are allowing them to play their shot, there's no need to change. There's no need to think about this is semi-final. Just play like the way they've been playing, like champions, and they'll come out with the flying colours.
Finally, before we wrap up, not left with too much time, predictions from you. 65-35 you said, right?
Absolutely.
India winning, 80%.
80% chance, irrespective of what happens at the toss, no need to worry.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, no need to worry. As we heard from both our experts in Harbhajan Singh, Suresh Raina, looking ahead to that big semi-final. Thank you so much for taking our time speaking to us on India Today.